everyone, Amanda here. Thank you so much for joining me. So I'm continuing work on my Queen Bee journal for those that want to follow along. I'll link all the previous videos below in the Journal Enjoy Monthly Journals playlist so you can follow along. I've shown how to make the cover. I've shown how to do this front section. We've got a lovely tag and a pocket. Just need to layer inside with this lovely belly band. I have just added charms to the front from Fussy Cut Elements. It would have been nice if I laminated those, but never mind. And then I added this little fussy cut to the bottom corner and just glued it there, and I've added some stickles. Okay, so I've shown you the pockets. I just need to layer there. We're going to work on the back cover today. So let me just look at my sample that I made. We're going to need these pieces. So the first piece measures 8 3/8 by 4 1/4. Now, if you're using letter size, okay, you'll need to adjust your sizing, okay? You can figure it out fairly easily. You'll just need to adjust the height, maybe the width, so that it fits your cover. But you can take the concept and you can just adjust the size, okay? So on this one, along the 4 1/4 side, we're scoring at 1/4 inch. No, we're not. I'm scoring at 1/2 inch, sorry. Beg your pardon. 1/2 inch, and then 3/4 inch. I beg your pardon. 1/2 inch, then 3/4. Okay. This 1/2 inch here is what glues down. Okay, and the 1/4 inch gives us a gusset. I've used lightweight cardstock that I've printed on both sides. But you can use, you know, your plain cardstock and then layer over with patterned paper. I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone by doing this, and I don't have the right colour cardstock that I want to coordinate, so I'm using the papers in the collection. So I've got that piece. I'm just going to ink it whilst I'm here, so that it matches everything. Okay. I'm going to ink this bit. Just add a little bit more ink to my... I don't want a lot of ink, but I just want to just emphasise that border. I'm just going to fold that back, and I'm going to ink the fold as well. I just like it. You don't have to. Okay. Do I want to ink that bit? I'm going to ink that bit as well. So I'm using 200 GSM lightweight cardstock for anybody that's asking, and I use Navigator brand. I believe it's been difficult to find at the moment. So if you're in the UK, you can use Craft UK brand. You know that it's Craft UK because it's got a Union Jack on it. That's very good quality cardstock. If you've got a Stampin' Up, that's not bad. It's not the worst. I'm just going to also I'm going to mitre in up to the 1/4 inch, just so that if I want to layer my pattern paper over, that bit's not showing, because my pattern paper might be a little bit smaller. I'm not sure. So that's that part. Then you want another piece, and this measures... Where's it gone? Where's my piece gone? Here we go. And this measures 4 1/2 by 6 1/2. Okay, and we're going to score on with it in the 4 1/2 inch running along the top. We're going to score at 1/2 inch there, and then we're going to flip it all the way around, 1/2 inch there. So we're doing 1/2 inch on 3 sides, 2 long sides and 1 short side. Okay, essentially. Okay. So then what you want to do is we're going to create a window. So I need my clear ruler. It's here. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over, okay? And on the top side where you don't have a score, you want to make a mark at 1/2 inch. Okay, let me just put some darker paper under there so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So 1/2 inch, and draw a line all the way across. And then on the sides that have got scores, okay, you want to go in at 1 inch. Okay, so 1, 2, I'm just double checking, 1 inch. 1 inch. So don't forget, the top with no score is only 1/2 inch from the edge, and the 3 that have got scores are 1 inch from the edge. Okay, then you want to cut that out. Okay, I'm just going to do that off camera and then we'll be back. Okay, so I've cut out my window. Okay, so I'm going to fold and burnish those score lines now. Each side and the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to cut across the X there, straight across the middle. Okay, so that they fold together into a, like that. Make sure they don't overlap, and they don't. Okay, perfect. I'm going to give them a good burnish. Then I'm going to ink it. Now I'm going to add some film, but I want to ink before I add the film because I want the ink on the inside of the window as well. Okay, to give it a nice framed look. Okay, and if we do this before we put our acetate in, do all of our inking, then we're not daubing our hands all over our acetate, because, you know, invariably it can get dirty very easy. So we're just reducing that by doing our inking first. Okay, so my monthly members get the papers. Okay, but I do share the tutorials on YouTube. I don't share them as private videos. And the reason being that I like to be able to inspire everybody, but obviously only the members have got the paper. So they're the main ones that's going to be making it, but you can still follow along even if you don't purchase my papers. I have the odd thing that I charge for the cutting guide, and the odd thing where only my members get the cutting guide. But other than that, I will share my process where I can so that anybody can have a go. Okay, now here I'm using transparency film, so it's like what you use for overhead projectors. Okay, it's a little bit thinner than acetate, so it's not as heavy and bulky, so you know, it's pretty useful. And if you my tape is too far over, when you're purchasing, if you purchase one that's printable as well, then it's got double function, because you can print on it and you can just use it for clear windows. So you're getting double for your money. Okay, so now this wants to go in here, between the score lines. Let me just, I should have left some of my tape on really. Okay, there we go. There we go. Make sure it's down nicely. Okay, and that is your window done. Yeah, mine's a little bit far over, tiny bit far over, and it's making but it'll be fine. Okay, so where's my other section? So here's my other section. I'm just going to actually see if I can lift that and just trim it, because it's encroaching on my fold. I've not put it on straight. Let me see if it makes a massive difference. And it doesn't make a massive difference. It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to now glue this onto there. Okay. Try not to get glue on my window sheet. And we're going to just flatten that out and then just have a look, and you should have a very minuscule border all the way around. Just tiny. Just make sure that whatever you've got at the bottom is the same as what you've got at the edges. Okay, tiny border all the way around. Okay. Depending on the thickness of your card, it might even not give you a border. But just make, if you don't have a border, check it before you glue it. If you don't have space either side, then run it straight to the bottom and go flush with here. Okay, but I've centralised mine. Okay, and then what we can do is we can glue, no, we'll do the other sections first. Then I've made 2 small pockets. So the pockets are going to go on the back, and these measure 3 3/8 by 3 1/2. Okay, and they're going to go on there. Are they the right pockets? Let me just check. I don't think those are the right pockets. I think those. No, those are for my other piece. I'm getting confused. This one's got 3 pockets. So these measure 4 1/2 by 3. Okay. We're cooking with gas, mixing up my sample, mixing up my pockets and mixing up my pieces. So let me just move that out of the way. So what we're going to do here is on the 4 1/2 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And we're going to score at 4. I'll just make sure that that scores straight. Then we're going to turn it on the 3 inch side and we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then on the next 2 pieces, we're just going to score at the sides. 1/2 inch and 4. 1/2 inch and 4. And we're going to make the stack pockets similar to what we did in the previous video. Okay. So now we fold and burnish that one. Okay. We're going to cut across the X at a slant. Fold all of them bits down and give it a really good crease. I'm going to quickly ink. And then I'm going to do the same with my other 2 pieces. Fold and burnish those sides. Then we're going to do a snipper. Okay, so on the bottom there's no exact measurement, but try and do it even both sides. We're just snipping like that. Okay, so you know you do kind of want to get them even both sides. So if you're worried about it, put your ruler, make a mark, okay, and then snippy snip. Okay, and you want to go up quite a deep angle because you want it to slide in that one. Okay, let me give that an ink. Same with this one. Give it a burnish. And I'm going to use this one as a template, okay, because I'd like them to be more or less the same. So where I've snipped on that one, I'm going to do the same here. That way they're kind of even. Okay, and you're getting the same sizing. Makes your life a bit easier. Alright, let's move all of that out of the way. So now we've got our hinge with our pocket. So the pocket's at the top there, so make sure you've got it the right way. Turn it over, okay, and then this first one with the 1/2 inch score at the bottom goes right at the bottom. And you can use whatever choice of papers you want. You can use a plain cardstock and then layer over with your patterned paper, that's fine. This one's going flush with the bottom and flush to the edge of here, okay, so that it doesn't encroach on that score line there. And it doesn't, because I've measured it within 1 inch of its life. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So then with the next one, we glue those sides. Okay, and we could probably just snip that off as well, so we've got less bulk in that pocket. Yeah, so we like that, so we've got that shape. That'll probably be better. Okay, then slide it in and it will come to a automatic stop where you've done your snipper. Okay, make sure it's lined up with the side here. That's the most important thing. get it straight. I've used lined paper here, so I can use that to help me guide it straight. So here, where we've got these flaps, we're gonna go up like that. Okay, so we've got that. So that there's just less bulk then, isn't there? And this will slide into there easier. Little adjustments sometimes as we go. Okay, and then this one is going to slide on the top of that one, flush to the edge of there, and that way we know it's straight. There we go. Make sure that you can still fold your flap. Get rid of that excess glue, which needs moving over ever so slightly. Get rid of that glue. And because I've used printed cardstock, I don't need to lay a paper under there, and I don't need to lay a paper under there. I'm golden, I'm good to go. So then now we can glue this flap. In fact, shall we do it now or shall we do it after we've done? We'll glue the other part on first, I think. Okay, so now we're on to sample 2, which is just quite straightforward. Okay, so again, this measures 9 3/8 by 3.5. Again, if you're a letter user, just measure your book, add 1/2 inch top, bottom, and to the right side. So with it in the 3, it should be 3 3/8 that. Never mind, it's fine. 3 3/8 side, you want to score at 1/2 inch. Then you want, I think, when I'm measuring, when I'm cutting on my trimmer, I'm ending up with different sizes to the scoreboard. I'm absolutely certain of it. Unless I'm going mad. I'm sure they're not the same. 1/2 inch top and bottom. Okay. It's fine because the pockets that go on are not edge-to-edge pockets. So if there's a size difference, it doesn't matter. But I'm convinced that those are different. Could be me. Could be me. Right. Get off. So we're cutting across the X again. Across the X again here. Making sure they don't overlap. Cut a bit much off that one, but it'll be all right. Fold them all down. Give it a good score. Cut a little tiny bit too much off there. Can you just see how that's gone kind of rounded? Can you see? I've just cut ever so slightly off. So I'm just going to bash it to make it square. It'll be fine. But if you just tap the card with your bone folder, if you've got a bit of a non-squared edge, that'll help give you a more squared look. Stick with me for more hints and tips. Okay, I'm inking, because I do like to ink. Okay, doke. So, shall we glue this down? We'll glue this down. So I'm gluing those flaps. Okay. So sometimes you might see me change my mind or and ah. It's not because I'm not a complete and utter professional genius. It's because these journals are one of a kind. You know, I make them along with you as I'm going. I make samples for what I want to add, but when I'm doing the real thing, you know, it's going on my actual journal. I'm not making this journal 3 times for videos, so sometimes I need to adjust as we go. Okay, so this is going to go, you've got a very slight gap top to bottom, but we want it, I think I want it flush with the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check this, okay, and have a look. Yeah. Okay, so because we've got a slight gap top and bottom, I'm going to make sure I've got a slight gap at the side as well, just so that it looks even. And I've cut a slight gap because I didn't want this pocket overhanging the cover of the journal. But it's not a big enough gap where you're going to need to start layering it with patterned paper. It's literally about a 1/16 of an inch. Okay, you can do it the full height of the journal if you want. I've cut mine just under. Okay, so now we can attach this. So we're just gluing, we've got our gusset engaged, we've got a 1/4 inch there, which is going to allow us to close it because we're going to put stuff in. So we want to glue the back of this 1/2 inch flap. So I've given you a gusset because we're going to put something in these pockets here, in this pocket here as well. So if you didn't have a bit of a gusset, then it's not going to close nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to disengage that gusset and I'm going to run it close to the span. Oh, I don't want glue on my acetate. Hold on a minute while I get that glue off. Oh, I'll stick an embellishment over it, don't matter. Careful you don't daub your fingers all over your acetate when you're doing this. Okay, and we're going to run that top to bottom. My bottom pocket's not on straight. Hold on a minute, let me see if I can. Just see my bottom pocket peeking out there and that's annoying me. No, my glue's dried. Just turn it over when you're adding your pockets and make sure it's not peeking out at the bottom. Mine's just peeking out ever so slightly. It's bothering me that much that I'm going to cut it off. And I'll glue that pocket at the bottom. Glue it back down. Let me just pull that off. That is really bothering me, that it's not even. So I'm just going to trim that off. I don't want to see that. Okay, so now where my pocket will be open, not that it matters, in fact it doesn't matter because I've not cut the whole way. I just need to ink so you can't see the white. It'll be fine. Right, so now I can stick this back down again. Glue strands. So when you're adding these pockets, ladies and gents, when you're adding them to here, turn this over and make sure they're flush at the bottom. Okay, so I'm disengaging the gusset, that 1/4 inch gusset, and I am attaching that. And I'm centralising it because again, you've got a small gap, so it wants to line up with this one. Okay, that's why you don't want them pockets protruding because it'll look rubbish. Right, making sure I'm not right into that score line of my spine. I'm just going to push it in a little bit, leaving about 1/8 of an inch maybe. Let me just check. Yeah, because you want room for this to sit when your book is closed like that. Okay, so don't have it too close to here. All right. I'm just getting rid of my excess glue. So now we've got a pocket here. Have I got a piece of scrap? Let me have a look. Which again will run the full length. Okay, it will run the full. That's not cutting it. It will run the full length of all three. Okay, that will run the length of 2 and that will run the length of 1. We're going to line this with patterned paper probably after the video. Now we're going to make some pockets for here. So these are my pockets for here. So these measure, where's my sample gone? These measure 3.5 by 3 3/8. Okay, so I've made marks on my paper so I know which way up it goes, and I'll tell you now. So on the 3 3/8 one side, that's 3.5. Let me just check. Yeah, so on the 3 3/8 side, you want to score 1/2 inch each side. Okay, I just turn it and do it rather than working out funky measurements. Then turn it on the 3.5 inch side and score at 1/2 inch on one side. So again, on the 3 3/8 inch side, you're scoring at 1/2 inch. Flip it all the way around, score at 1/2 inch again. Flip it to the 3 1/2 inch side, score at 1/2. Okay. We're gonna fold and burnish those little pockets. Let me just check they're the same size as my sample. Yes, they are. Can't always guarantee I've done it right. You know, I'm just a human. Again, we're cutting across where the score lines intersect, across that X. Making sure they don't overlap, line does. Oops. There we go. There we go. And again, you probably can't see because it's stripy paper, but we've got, where the lines intersect, you've got an X. You're cutting right across the centre of the X. Making sure they don't overlap. So I've got wonky eyes this morning. Not cutting straight at all. Okay. Hold it all in. Burnish it all. And you might think, well, these pockets are a bit small, Amanda. But the small tags in my collection fit in. Okay? Because that's why I made them that size. Oh, there's method in all of my madness, I tell you. Sometimes there ain't. Sometimes I'm just mad for no reason. I like to keep you on your toes and see who's listening. Because I know with some of these longer videos, people don't watch them, but I don't do it for views. I do it for those that have got the collection and want to make the journal the same as me. They'll watch it. And if there are only 3 people who want to make it, that's absolutely fine by me. That's fine. No pressure. I just won't speak to none of you ever again if you don't watch my videos. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. And the reason that I share them on here rather than do them private for my members, I don't know if I've already said this, I think I have, is because I like to share. I like everybody to get the chance. Okay, so do I wanna? I'm gonna be funky and I'm gonna add. What did I do on this one? Yeah, I've added it right to the bottom. Okay, I'm not leaving a gap because I want this to close here and then you've got the edge of the pocket. So they should line up. Yeah, so this flap should line up with the edge of these pockets. Okay? So that it all looks like one piece, which is why I've done it in the same paper, even though it looks a little bit funky, but we're going to layer it. We're going to layer these pockets. Okay. And then the next one, so this is a full pocket with a flap, so it won't run down. And I've done that on purpose. So this wants to go right on top of that one, right close to the edge, maybe leave a small gap, but not massive. Okay, not a massive gap, maybe a tiny one. And that's because when you put that tag in there, you don't want this peeking out of the top. If you have this pocket too far up, then if you use one of these tags, it'll peek over the top. And that's why I've carefully made them this size. Okay, like I say, there's method in all of my madness. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it like file folders to go in there. Okay, just need this to dry. And then I have cut 2 matting layers for these. Okay, so the rest of this is staying plain. And I've cut 2 little matting layers for here. Is that right? That doesn't look right. I feel like those matting layers are the wrong size. Let me see. Yeah, no, they're not the right size. Let's have a look what size we need them. So they need to be, so your pocket should be 2 3/8. So should be 2 1/2. 2 3/8. No, there should be 2 1/8. Oh, hold on. Yeah, 2 1/4. Okay. So why does that not look right? Don't know. What I'm going to do is, because it just doesn't look right to me, I'm just going to take another 1/8 of an inch off. Okay, it just doesn't look right. So I'll take another 1/8 of an inch off and then I'll give you the measurement. I might well have cut it wrong. Let me have a look. This is why I don't do paper layering on videos. So 3, so that should be 2 3/4. Yeah, by 2 1/8. Right, so by the time we've folded under, we'll lose some of our size, you see. No, it's 2 3/8, so it should be 2 1/8. 2 1/8, and they are. So it's just my eyes that thinks they're not the right size. They are. So these are 2 1/8 by 2 3/4. Sometimes you can look at a piece of paper and just think it doesn't look the right size when it is. Okay, panic over. Let's get these on. Okay, goes on there. Centralise it. Try and have an even gap, top, bottom, side to side. Same with this one. And then this might feel a little bit floppy and redundant, but once you've packed it with things, it will stand like that, okay? So don't worry. Yeah, and then these little tags go in here. One there, and you'll get one there as well, but I've only cut one out. Okay, let's have a look. I'm going to need to put something here because I've mucked up my acetate. So let me just have a quick look at my embellishments. Let's have a look what we've got. Got some lovely ones. Got some lovely ones. Let's have a look. Wonder if that'd fit across. That looks quite nice. And that looks nice as well, doesn't it? It's too big. Let's have one of these. So that's done. That's glued on. It's hidden where I've daubed it and made a mess. So we can add various things to here. We can print out these little images and make tiny little folding journaling cards. You could put photo mats in there, 3x3. Would you fit 3x3 in there? Let me just check. You would. I might actually put 3x3 photo mats in there. Okay, and there's no need for a closure on here because the weight of this, once that's full and that's full, will keep that down. And in the next video, I will have all of my papers together and I will have finished this. I will have lined that. I'll show you what I've put in the pockets and I'll do maybe a video on some decorating ideas, and then we'll be on to the final review, okay, because I'm not going to show every single page, every bit of decoration that I've done, but I've given you quite a lovely interactive cover there. Really rather pretty. I just need to cover the back. Have I got enough pink card to do that? I think I've got this. Yeah, so I'll do that when we've done with this video. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.